Cedric Maxwell
Well, you gotta get
is
him.
a
We can't hear
two-time
it.
champion.
I don't know if it's
There it is.
There he is.
Okay.
And
Can we
the
get him on screen so we can see him first?
Good to see you, champ.
He's looking good, looking real dapper. Always used to be, and still is, the best dressed big man in the NBA.
They ask me questions and I answer. That's all.
Number 30,
I'm
number
just talking
31,
about,
do your thing.
Look at me in the face right now. I see Draymond behind me.
Okay.
But don't act like it wouldn't been in the 80s. He would have been knocked out.
Hey, come on, Sid. Stop that, Sid. Hey, I watch y'all team and played against y'all team, and I'm going to tell you, like on the real, they had about 5, 6 guys on y'all team that would knock you out, and you was one of them, right?
Well, I think also, Cedric, would you say at this era, I mean, we're talking comparison eras, 2 things that I would add. One, it's kind of like hockey. There's about 3 guys on a team that's their job. There's no job for that in the NBA now. So there were jobs like you come in, you got to be physical.
Yeah.
That's your only job is to be physical.
Well, let me tell you the part that insulted me, and this was, and I talked to Draymond and anybody else. They talked about, Draymond said, well, if you got thrown out of a game during that time, you only could pay $2. Well, you know what? That's an insult to anybody who played with me at that particular time, because we stood on the shoulder of giants.
Yeah.
And the reason he's making $30 million, he got on my shoulders and somebody else's shoulders.
Yeah.
And you don't be disrespectful. I'm going to quote a famous Chinese philosopher here, Kevin Garnett.
Oh, wow.
What Kevin Garnett said?
I didn't even know he was Chinese.
Well, you know it now. What Kevin Garnett said was, respect these years.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, when you look at things you talk about, I'll say this. There's only been 32 Finals MVPs, and damn it, I'm one of them.
Okay. Right. So am I.
There you go. Thank you.
Hey,
Wait, before you go. But that's what we're talking about. You're not playing the Celtics. You're playing the ghost of the Celtics too, baby. And they're coming at you right now.
I'm glad, though, that you brought up the Finals MVP, because we were discussing whether or not it would be the last resume item for Steph Curry here in these finals. Do you see it that way?
Doesn't need it at all, because what I look at is Steph Curry. There's only 2 people I know change the game, Wilt Chamberlain and Steph Curry, that I know of, that changed the game completely with his ability to knock down the tray ball. And when you're that good and play that well, I don't think anybody can argue the point about how you stand. And he doesn't need one more chip, or he doesn't need a Finals MVP to tell me how good he is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey, Sid, I want to touch on something you said before, because you said something that I thought was important. You said that Draymond has to respect the guys that came before him. But on the flip side, I think that there has to be a mutual level of respect. Because I know you respect Draymond Green, but your comment was, Draymond, if you played in my day, you would have gotten knocked out. You didn't say we would have fought you. See, there's a difference. If I'm Draymond, you say in my day you would have had to fight, I'm not mad at that. But if you say you would have knocked me out, I'm like, oh, so you think I'm soft?
No.
But that's how we took it, because there's no context. I'm fighting for Draymond Green in this instance, because I agree with his points that, listen, I honestly feel that respect has to go both ways. The OGs got to respect the young guys, and the young guys got to respect the OGs.
I respect the fact of who he is and what he's done in this league. I do respect that. But I also know that during my particular era, what would have happened? I'm not speaking something that I didn't play in. I'm speaking facts. Let that happen to Lakeem Olajuwon. What happens?
Oh, no, it's a big problem.
But what happens to Draymond?
It's a fight. You don't know if he got knocked out?
Oh.
It's a fight.
Excuse me.
It's a fight.
I don't know about this right here, but he was up against Hakeem Olajuwon, knocked out.
Okay. I'm gonna just say this though also.
And I'm not talking about violence, because look, I don't have anything in this about Draymond Green. I was just stating the fact of some of the things that happened during that particular time. Some of the shenanigans, some of the throwing down, all that. To me, I just looked at it, and I was talking to Gary Payton, and we happened to be talking, and the camera happened to be there. And, you know, I'm just talking like a brother would talk to somebody else. And that's what I know.
I will say this, and you would assess this.
This dude right here, let me see why he can't say nothing. He can't say nothing.
He can say whatever he wants to say.
No, he can't say anything, because he is already guilty of everything I'm talking about. He played with one of the dirtiest, nastiest teams ever to play the game of basketball. They didn't foul you one time. They fouled you twice. If you got fouled once, look for the second foul to come. Right?
who were our mentors and teachers?
We were.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm not saying
wait a minute.
wrong. I'm just stating the fact.
Wait a minute. I used to sit right over there.
My man said get worked up, and I love it.
No, I got worked up,
I got to get worked up, baby.
I watched every NBA final that they won and lost for like 4 straight years. I was sitting right over there, behind their bleachers, watching, right? When they won the championship, I was in their locker room celebrating or just watching. Now, here's what I saw. I saw McHale snatch Kurt Rambis out of the air. Boom. I saw Magic dribble out the shot clock right there, And then I also saw Magic come back and make the hook shot right there. I saw Gerald Henderson steal it from James Worthy right there. And I saw M.L. Carr and Cedric Maxwell walk across the free throw line and look at Magic Johnson and do this.
But that was actually wait a minute. That was actually Little Game James at that time. That's who that was.
Yeah, that was that.
James Worthy.
So we were taking notes.
Hey, Kenny, you gonna let him disrespect our UNC brethren like that?
I just asked him.
Okay. I'm just saying.
It's not disrespectful.
He wasn't big
He missed he wasn't at that time. I'm just saying he missed the free throw, and we walked across the line and we said he choked.
Yeah, but wait.
All he had to do was make the free throw. That's not my foul. That's not my fault.
Wait.
I love it.
Do we have any time?
He looked at.
You got another second.
He walked right in the dude's face and did this.
The only thing that I did take exception with Draymond was the skill level thing. Just now that he said, "Oh, you don't have the skill to play." Well, today's era, the only difference is the hand check rule. The hand check rule and no hand check allows you to show your skill differently. Because if I'm bringing the ball up against Cedric and he's got his hand, now I can't see this half of the court. But if he doesn't have his hand, I become a better ball handler, better vision, and better shooter. So your skill level, actually his skill level would have been enhanced in this era because of the lack of hand checking. So one of the greatest ball handlers ever, even to this day, you're going to say Isaiah. One of the most versatile players ever, you're still going to say Cornbread Maxwell. So that part of the game, I can understand the fighting and what you're saying.
But I agree with what you're saying, and that's the danger in comparing eras. And that's why, to me, I think nobody wins when the family feuds. We all family. You, Draymond, we all family. So sometimes to me, it's like my mom always raised me, hey no. We keep it in house.
Hold on.
Keep it in house.
Let me say this.
Keep it in house.
He ain't in my damn family. I'm not sure about he might be on your family.
Come on, Sid.
I ain't giving that right
Sid,
now.
I'm trying to end on a positive note.
The Celtics are in the house.
There you go.
The Celtics are in the house.